Today's adventure, where are we at today? We're at the Daytona Police Department.
Popo, they caught me and they're taking me in.
Stay tuned and see what happens. So today we came out to the Daytona Beach Police Department. Going to find out what's going on, and we're going to find out how to keep you out of trouble today.
For Bike Week. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and ring that bell for notifications.
Let's get into it. We're going to run through a list. We're going to start off with the main ones first that they get you for right off the bat. Here we are at the police department. We went inside, we sat down with one of the officers, and he went through the list that told us all the things that they write the most tickets for. So here we go. The number one thing that can get you pulled over is those ape hangers. They don't have any particular height for them, but what they go by is the one that's riding the bike, it's your shoulder. If it's past your shoulder, you're gonna get stopped. So watch out for that one. That's the number one thing that they're gonna come after you for. So another one they come after is eye protection. You know, if you've got that helmet on and you got that visor that flips up and you're riding along and you don't have sunglasses or some kind of eye protection underneath, that is gonna get you pulled over. You gotta have eye protection on at all times. So you gotta remember that. The other things you got to remember here in Florida, you have to be at least 21 years old or you have to wear a helmet. So if you're 20 and a half and you're riding on a motorcycle, you got to have a protective helmet, DOT approved. That will get you pulled over. If you're out here revving up that engine on Main Street or you're squealing that tire, that will guarantee to get you pulled over. And here's the list of things that they come after you if they pull over and you want to be, you know, some people can be assholes. And you know, you want to give that cop a hard time. You know, you want to remember here, you know, they've got a job to do too. They're working 15 to 20 hours a day during this rally. So we want to make sure, you know, you be kind to them, help them out.
Give them a little respect.
You know, you get pulled over, maybe you're just going to get a warning. Let's go with that. But here's some of the things that they go after. So if they pull you over, one of the other things they're going to check off right off the bat, if you're starting to give them trouble or whatever the case may be, you don't have that helmet on, you know, they're going to be looking at your insurance card. You have to have $10,000 of medical insurance on each person that's on that bike to cover you in case you have that accident. So make sure, that's the other thing we talked about in another video. Make sure you've got a current driver's license, you've got your registration and your insurance card on your phone and have a picture of it. Because some places out here, like we rode today out up to 13, there ain't no cell service out there. So if you're trying to pull up your identification card or whatever ID that you need to show the police that pulled you over, you ain't gonna have it. And they're not gonna wait around for you to get some internet service. So remember that. You know, some of the other things you need to make sure that you take care of. You know, don't be out here making a spectacle. They're not out here looking for you. They're not running speed traps. They're not running DUI spots, things like that. You know, so don't be out here doing something to get them to pull you over and start looking at everything. Make sure your license plate is visible and that sticker to show what year your bike is. You know, they said not so much for the big cruiser bikes, but the, you know, the crotch rockets out here that come out here, those plates are stuck way underneath the seat. And if they can't see it from the back, that's going to get you a ticket even if you have the proper license and tag on that. So remember that. Get that plate down there so they can see it. We'll talk about parking. You know, on Main Street, they're going to close a lot of these streets down and it's going to be motorcycle parking only. No cars. So if you brought your car down and you think you're going to cruise down Main Street in the next couple of weeks, ain't going to happen. You know, don't forget, you cannot park anywhere on the A1A. You know, we talked about towing, you know, like in Sturgis at 2 a.m. if your bike's out there on Main Street afterwards, it gets towed. Well, pretty much here, most of the businesses are responsible for the areas in front of their businesses. So they may have a sign. If you're parking in a lot, you know, almost all those places along there are going to have parking lots. Some of them charge $5 for a bike or whatever it might be. Make sure you look, because hey, if you had way too many to drink and somebody takes you back, you leave your bike on a lot, you want to make sure it's still there when you get back the next morning. So make sure you've checked with the place you're parking your bikes at, that it's going to be there if you leave them overnight. That's another good one. You know, when you're riding a motorcycle, make sure you have the proper people. You know, there's some dirt bikes out here. I had one before that only had pegs for the front rider. Didn't have any pegs for the back because you weren't supposed to have a passenger on it. That will get you a ticket. You know, somebody out there that tries to shove 3 people on a motorcycle, that's going to get you a ticket. You know, one of the crazy things here is you've actually got to keep both hands on the handlebars at all times. If you took off and just waved to somebody, that could get you pulled over. You know, you could always say you're making a right-hand turn or a left-hand turn using hand signals. You know, that might buy you something. You know, I don't think they're going to pick on that, but I mean, that's a thing here. It's a Florida code you got to think about. In Florida, there is no lane splitting. I think only California is the only state that's got that. But there's no lane splitting. No more than 2 bikes can be side by side. You know, just like in all the other times we talk about this, you know, unless you've already got a pre-approved ride with the police department and all that kind of stuff, you cannot stop and block traffic for your buddies. That will get all of you tickets. Everybody's got to stop at that stop sign, the traffic light, whatever it is. If you have a buddy that stops the traffic, you're stopping, and that could be a misdemeanor for him, and everybody else is going to get a ticket for running the stop sign. So make sure you don't do that. Once they get you pulled over and you want to be a butt, you know, you want to give that cop a hard time. Hey man, don't give me a hard time, don't do this, don't do that, you're a butt, you know, and you start going crazy. They can get crazy with you. You know, they can check and make sure your horn works, your lights are all working, you know,
the right mufflers on.
Yeah, you got factory stock exhaust and all this stuff, and it can run into thousands of dollars worth of tickets and tows. So, you know, like I say, once again, just like we said at the beginning, if you get pulled over, you know, be courteous. You know, they're not out here to give you a hard time. They're here to make things safe. You know, and just like that, the guy running down the street, revving his motor up, hey, you know, a piston could fly out of there. Or the guy squealing tires, you know, something could throw up rocks or whatever it is, could hurt somebody. You know, all this. That's what they said. The first couple days here when the rally starts, which actually is going to start this next weekend, that people will start showing up. The vendors are going to be here pretty much next week, starting Monday, Tuesday. They're already going to be out here in force looking at you. Where if you're in a place and you're squealing your tire and all your buddies are around, they're going to address everybody that's in that bunch. They're going to look at everybody's insurance, the lights, bikes, everything, because they want to let you know that, hey, you can't come into town and just act crazy. You know, come in here, do some great riding, you know, do some drinking, have some fun, have some great food, buy some stuff for your bike. You know, we're all here to have a good time. And so are the police. They got a job to do, and we want to make sure they do their job, because we don't want some crazy guy killing us or killing themselves, or, you know, all kinds of bad things can happen. So we want to make sure that we do respect our police, and I think most motorcycle riders do. You know, the guys in blue, they're out here, they're doing a hard battle, and, you know, we've had a lot of trouble. They've had a lot of trouble with what's going on in America today. So, you know, say hi to that police officer when he's out here on Main Street or wherever you see him at, and thank him for doing their service and taking care of all of us.
That's what he said, that they're out here to help make sure we have a good time and enjoy the area, not to harass us, not to look for trouble, but they say, if you're wanting attention and you're making a lot of racket, a lot of noise, or whatever you're doing to draw attention, they're going to give you some attention. So Just remember that.
Your attention will be addressed. So we're going to go ahead and leave you right here. You know, you might want to go back through this video again and write down some of these things and make sure you're not one of those ones that's going to get stuck. You know, I sure don't want a couple $1,000 ticket. I don't want my bike impounded, and, you know, you may have to come back here for court, and all kinds of crazy stuff goes on. So we're going to go ahead and leave you today right here at the Daytona Police Department.
So I hope you enjoyed it. You got some good information out of this. We want everybody to be safe, to be kind, to be courteous. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Share us with your family and friends. Give us a big thumbs up. Ring that bell for notifications, and we'll see you on the next video.
And be safe. And if you're down here in Daytona, we're going to have some meetups and greets, and you guys can check us out, and you can meet us, and we'll give us some stickers away. We got some, depending on how many you show up. So we'll see you later. See you tomorrow.
Bye.